Hi, welcome to A Chef Called Rhonda. I'm Rhonda and this is my kitchen. Today I'll be showing you how to make a Torta Caprese. This recipe hails from the Island of Capri in the Bay of Naples, Italy. You can find Torta Caprese all across the Campania region, and it has been brought here to America and passed down for generations. It's super simple, super delicious, and super fun to make, and a compliment to any spectacular Sunday meal with the family. And now I'd like to show you the ingredients for our Torta Caprese. Very minimal ingredients with a big flavor and a wonderful texture. Okay, so what we have are 7 room temperature eggs. Can you see that? I have 7 room temperature eggs. 3/4 cup of white granulated sugar. I have a 1.5 teaspoons of good quality vanilla, and I choose to use Mexican vanilla. And if you follow my channel, A Chef Called Rhonda, you know that my 2 passions are a good quality vanilla and a high quality cinnamon. 1.25 cups of dark chocolate. Okay, I chose to use the Baker's Delight dark chocolate chips here. I have 2 sticks of butter, 1.25 cups of ground almonds, and I've already food processed my almonds. And finally, we have our 3.5 tablespoons of Rumford baking powder. 7 ingredients which will make this Torta Caprese look second to none on your dessert table. To our preparation bowl, and I do have a large preparation bowl here, I will add our 7 room temperature eggs, and I will utilize my whisk to whisk better. So I pop my 7 yolks using the head of the whisk, and I will gently whisk until my eggs are combined and start to turn a pale yellow. Looks something like so. Can you see that? So my 3/4 cup sugar. And now I will take my trusty wooden spoon and I will start to incorporate my egg and sugar until it's sufficiently combined. I'm going to grab what here in America we call a double boiler. I have my 2 sticks of butter. I will place my bowl that has my 2 sticks of butter right over that hot water. Melt the butter with the chocolate. And you can do this over a medium heat. You just want to keep the water temperature at that boiling consistency. And what I melt the dark chocolate bits into the butter over our double boiler, or in Italian we call it bain-marie. Our chocolate and butter are melted together. It should look something like this and smell something heavenly like. Heavenly! It's smelling so heavenly. Let's do now. This is a trick of the trade. You can either lay this over an ice bath to cool it down, or you can let it cool down naturally. We do not want to add the hot chocolate and butter ingredients to our room temperature sugar and egg mixture. Absolutely not, because what will happen is we'll get chocolate scrambled eggs, and that's never good when we're trying to make a Torta Caprese. So yes, this will take a little bit of time. We need to set our chocolate and our butter mixture into the preparation area and allow it to cool. Sufficiently cool time, in my opinion, and it will vary from household to household, is about 30 minutes. I have a spring-form pan here. I put a little bit of butter in the pan, and then I sprinkled a little bit of flour, and I did add a piece of parchment paper at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? So that's our prepared spring-form pan, and we will bake this at 335 degrees for about 40 minutes. Your house will smell heavenly. And next, our chocolate and our butter has sufficiently cooled, and it's time to put the remaining ingredients together. Okay, so our chocolate and our butter mixture has sufficiently cooled, and now it's time to add it to our egg and sugar mixture. slowly we will add it into the egg, and we will begin to incorporate the egg and the chocolate, the butter and the sugar, and making one mixture. We have all of our chocolate incorporated into the egg and sugar mixture. 1/2 teaspoon of good quality vanilla. What kind of vanilla do we use in a chef called Rhonda's kitchen? It's Mexican vanilla. Okay, so we're incorporating that. And now it's time to add our 1.5 cup of finely ground, and we already processed our almonds. The trusty wooden spoon comes in very handy. Hefty wooden spoon helps to incorporate all of that nice ingredient. And at this time, our final, we will add our 3¼ cup of baking powder, and that's going to give our cake, our flourless cake, a lift. The key here, in addition not to getting chocolate everywhere in the kitchen, is to really get in there with that wooden spoon and really give it some elbow grease. The batter, let's speak a little bit about the batter, will be of a textured, crunchy consistency. Chef called Rhonda's kitchen really needs a spoon rest. Okay, so can you see that? Can you see all the little bits of almond? So in total, I would suggest when mixing with your spoon by hand, I would continue to mix it for a good 2.5 minutes. Is already preheated to 335 degrees, and it will bake for about 40 minutes. To which time, if you open your windows and your doors, your neighbors will come running. And the smell will be heavenly. Okay, so I think we're good here. Batter going to be poured into our prepared springform pan, like so. Remember, the larger the wooden spoon, the easier to feed the pan. You can give that spoon a little whack. And incidentally, I did want to make mention, I utilized plant-based butter for this recipe. Here, so I'm taking the back edge of my spoon and I'm just rendering out and making my torta nice and even, okay? Like so. Can you see that? Can you see that? Now we're ready to pop this beautiful torta into our already preheated at 325-degree oven, and we'll bake it for approximately 40 minutes until a toothpick inserted comes out nice and clean. Okay, well, I'll see you back in the kitchen for our tasty big bite. Okay, welcome back. We have just removed our Torta Caprese from the oven. We cooked our cake for about 42 minutes. Now, as a little tip from a chef called Rhonda to you, every oven is a bit different. It can vary. You can cook this torta at 350 for, say, 38 minutes. So long as your toothpick inserted into the center comes out nice and clean, the cake is done. Couple of things before we go into removing torta, and I'd like to bring it up close. Yes, it isn't a misnomer. Along the sides, you'll see that there's a darkening edge. The sides of the torta will be a little bit crispy, and as you navigate your fork through the cake and through the center, as you're eating this luscious dessert, it'll be smooth and creamy and very rich. To show you how to effectively remove our Torta Caprese from the pan. I have a butter knife, can you see that? Right around the edge, just to loosen it. Maybe 1 or 2 times, just to loosen it up so it doesn't stick. I'm going to now unclamp our edge of the form pan, and I'm going to pull it back. And what's going to happen is our torta is going to come out onto the plate perfectly. Now, to make it a bit more pretty and a bit more decorative, I have decided to sprinkle it with some confectionate sugar. We allowed the torta to cool sufficiently. Top it with some fresh raspberries. And look at this. Can you see these raspberries? These raspberries are so... Thank you for watching. I want to say hi to everyone, and thank you for all your comments and your emails and your suggestions. I take our stencil away, and now I'm just going to place the raspberry in the center It looks so pretty, you almost don't want to cut into it.
Look. And I'm just going to go right in a circle.
I wanted to just describe the Torta Caprese. It's a traditional Italian cake made with chocolate and either almonds or walnuts. In this recipe, we utilize the almonds. The name actually, it's named for the island of Capri. Caprese means Capri. And this torta, or cake, actually originated in Naples, Italy, but it quickly spread due to its popularity. It's a traditional Italian cake, and I really hope that you folks try it and enjoy it as much as we do. Cheers.